C-Fan Sports, the sports show that is dedicated to the Seattle sports fan. My name is Dave. This is Kevin, and you are listening to Mariner Weekly right here at C-Fan Sports. Kevin, before we get into all that, before we get into our topic of the day, make sure that you guys hit that subscribe button, turn on your notifications, give us thumbs up, give us thumbs down, and make sure you leave some comments in the comment section down below, because I want to ask you guys a question at the end of the show for you guys to give us your opinion, because we always answer them or we talk about it right here on C-Fan Sports. We want to make sure that your voice is heard. So, Kevin, let me tell you something. I'm going to throw some names out there, and I want you to tell me what they have in common. Paul Sewald, Drew Streckenrider, Casey Sadler, Ken Giles, Andres Munoz, Johan Ramirez, and Diego Castillo. What do they have in common that, I don't know, Anthony Misevich doesn't have in common with them?
Well, all those guys are right-handed relief pitchers, where Anthony is not. He is a lefty.
He's a lefty.
Mm-hmm.
So if you look at our bullpen, which was solid last year,
Yep.
it was heavy
Yeah.
on the right-hand pitching side. So this year, Kevin, this episode, not this year, this episode, we're going to talk about the top 4 left-hand relievers and whether or not, which one Kevin thinks that we should go after. Kevin, let's go ahead and run down those top 4 real quick.
Well, you have Aaron Loop, who is kind of everything I've read so far is the most desired free agent left-handed pitcher out there. Although he is 34 years old, he's been in the league 10 years. He ended up 2021 with a 0.95 batting average, 0.95. Now his career average over 10 years is 3.05. The one thing I do like about this guy is he's got a good, walk per 9, which is right around 2.5, 2.6. He's got a good K strikeouts per 9, which is right between 8.5 to 9.1. He ended up the year with a 2.8 WAR, but he does throw ground balls, or basically he throws balls that are hit on the ground at 53% of the time throughout his career. This year it was 51.8, so 52% of the time. That to me is very, very good. Doesn't throw, lights out. He's not a strikeout pitcher, but he is a very good pitcher.
Let me ask you this, Kevin. With the ballpark that we have as at Safeco, or excuse me, T-Mobile, dating myself there, with that type of ballpark, do you think that type of a pitcher is going to be better in that atmosphere as far as a ground ball pitcher versus an overpowering pitcher?
Well, I think anybody that we can get to hit in contact the ball and hit it to the infield, hit it to the outfield, we have a great defensive team. So I think it's only going to benefit us. So if we can get guys that have a good ground ball percentage, then yeah, I think it's a bonus.
So mixing him with Anthony Misevich, you'd like that combination right there. All right, Kevin,
Yep.
Number 2 on your list.
Well, actually, Andrew Chafin with the pitch for the Oakland A's at the end of the year last year, he ended up with a 2.9 WAR, at 1.83 ERA. His ground ball percentage was 43.6. His strikeouts per 9 innings, 8.4, and his base on balls per 9 innings, 2.5. So he did have a very solid year, and he actually did decline today his mutual option with the A's. So he is definitely a free agent, and he is a couple years younger than everybody else on this list at 31, 32. He'll be 32 in the middle of the year.
Yeah, it looks like Oakland is starting to do a little bit of a fire sale, wouldn't you think?
Oh, yes, I think so. Absolutely.
Okay. All right, Kevin,
those are my top 2 guys. I mean, if we can get one of those guys, I would be very happy. The next 2 guys, I do like one, but the numbers aren't near as good on either one of these guys. So
All right, well, give us number 3 then, Kevin. Who's number 3 for you?
Brooks Rowley.
Okay.
He is going to be 33, 34 next year. His ERA was 4.78. And he does have a 44.6% ground ball percentage. Strikeouts per 9 innings was 11.9, which is very good. His base on balls per 9 innings is 2.9, which is a little high, but his WAR was a negative 0.4 WAR last year. And
Wow.
so not a great. Now, if he was just pitching against left-handers, unbelievable year. But because he has to pitch, three guys, that his ERA went through the roof.
All right, Kevin, rounding out the top 4, who's your number 4?
Tony Watson, who's going to be 37 years old next year. He ended up with a 3.92 ERA, 46% ground ball rate percentage, 2.8 base on balls per 9, 6.9 strikeouts per 9. He had a 0.8 WAR. So the guy actually did okay. But like you said, the difference between Aaron and Andrew compared to Brooks and Tony, I would take one of the top 2 if I could. If I had a choice, that'd be who I'd take.
Now, I asked you this question earlier, Kevin, but gosh darn it, I don't feel satisfied in the answer you gave me. So I'm going to ask it again just because I'm that type of guy. At the tail end of James Paxton's career, is there a possibility that James Paxton can come in and be in our relief pitchers just to save mileage on that arm?
I don't know if he could. I mean, I'm not going to argue that he can't. I just, he wants to be a starting pitcher, and he has the stuff to be a starting pitcher if he can stay healthy. And that's the bottom line. Can he stay healthy? And he really, from what I read and hear, he would like to re-sign with Seattle. They paid him $8 million to sit on the shelf last year. And he's a stand-up guy. And I think he really wants to pitch again for Seattle if he can. Now, I don't know if Seattle's going to want to bring him back unless it's some, minor league invite to camp. So I don't know if he's going to return or not.
All right. The question we have for you guys, who's the left-handed relief pitcher that you'd like to see in a Mariner uniform last year? Kevin gave you his top 4. I threw out the possibility of maybe throwing James Paxton in the bullpen to go ahead and give him some extra life. It's happened before at the end of careers. So who knows what will happen there. But we want to hear from you guys. Make sure you drop it in the comment section. Tell us who you'd like to see as a left-handed pitcher. Kevin, do you have anything else you want to add today?
I do. I would really like to see trade ideas, because I really think Jerry, not a great crop of left-hand bullpen guys. So I could see Jerry doing some wheeling and dealing to try to get a dominant left-hander coming out of the bullpen, in my opinion. But I don't know if that's going to happen. But, throw some names out there. Let us know what you guys are thinking as well. So
other trade ideas as well. The hot stove is starting to heat up. I can feel it, Kevin. I'm putting my hands out there, and
I wish they would quit. I know I'm going to upset some of you guys, but I don't understand why Matt Chapman's name keeps being mentioned. To me, he's just a younger Kyle Seager. Sorry, guys. That's just my opinion.
Oh, that's controversial.
It is controversial, and I'm probably going to get a lot of hate mail for it, but I think there's a lot of other quality third basemen that can hit the ball.
I'd like to read a story about it. All right, Kevin, that's all we got today. Go ahead. We'll talk to you later. Anything else, Kev?
Go Mariners, man.
Go Mariners.